Hello,
Good
happy
morning.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
So today, elephant in the room, black. My eye is a bit grazed. Long story short, Ellie's got Bambi legs and she's had too much to drink and ended up me getting thrown about by a bouncer. Anyway, we won't draw too much onto that. We had a good night and we suffered yesterday and we actually let our team down a little bit because we had a little bit of a challenge going on in our group and we didn't live up to it, did we?
No, I mean, I got 5,000 steps before I got home by 3 o'clock in the morning, but then I think that pretty much, that's where it stayed. My steps didn't do very much. I felt very sorry for myself and was on the sofa.
Yeah, but most of our clients smashed it. They were all getting it. One of our clients hit over double what we were aiming for, things like that. So it was really good in that way, but we let the team down. It got us thinking about how easy it is to let things slip because the weekend's been a little bit of a heavy one, and for us, we don't really have much social things going on anyway, so we're quite fortunate in that way that it doesn't throw us out. However, for a lot of you, Christmas coming up, there's probably social occasions on every weekend and you might feel like you're suffering Monday blues. It's like you want to get back to normal but you're struggling with motivation, struggling with energy levels, and it's almost like, where did that weekend go?
Yeah, so we're just going to kind of talk about things that we kind of do that help us, because it's getting up on a Monday, you might be going to work, so a lot of the time we find that a lot of people have guilt. So it's like you're feeling guilty about the weekend that you've just had that perhaps was really good, was really fun. You enjoyed going out with your friends, you enjoyed the food that you were eating. So number one is, don't have guilt on a Monday morning. Yes, you perhaps did overindulge, you didn't stick to the diet plan. But let's just move forward, okay? We can't get it back now. Did you have fun? Yes, that's the most important thing. So let's just move forward.
Yeah, morning Chris, I'm okay now, absolutely fine. We were feeling a bit tired and tender yesterday.
I was very overprotective.
Ellie was fuming, but feeling good now. But we didn't train over the weekend as well, and this was something that was huge for us because we train 7 days a week purely because we love it, not because we feel like we need to. But sometimes we find when we have a day or we have a couple of days off, we do suffer with guilt. We feel frustrated, annoyed, and we're like, oh, we've missed this workout. Whereas now it was like, oh no, do you know what? We missed the workouts because we chose not to.
Yeah.
We had time yesterday and we had time the day before, but Ellie's parents are over, my mum was over, and we just thought, do you know what? Let's enjoy it. It's all about balance, it's all about lifestyle, and we've not put on body fat overnight because we didn't do a workout for a couple of days.
And it's very refreshing feeling not tied to have to do something. We love training, that will never go, but we don't feel tied that we have to do anything. And to be honest, yes, we were feeling hanging yesterday, but it's the first time I've ever noticed us not need to binge or anything, because I feel as if, because we've let go of any pressures that we have right now, it's helped our relationships with the exercise side. As you can see, we don't have guilt because we're not training. We don't feel the need to binge because we're not depriving ourselves Monday to Friday. So it's all about just finding a healthy relationship, because then you find is you have a blowout, then come Monday you're ready to get back on it because you're not having this overwhelmed with negative emotion.
It's like we'll often say, if you can't fully enjoy yourself and you can't fully relax doing what you're currently doing, something has to change. The program's not right for you, the method what you're following isn't quite right for you, because we have to be able to relax, we have to be able to enjoy ourselves, because this isn't, like we always say, it's not a dress rehearsal for something better. So it's important that you find that happy medium that allows you to work towards your goals but still enjoy having a bit of cheap or whatever junk food, whatever people want to term it as, enjoying a drink, enjoying whatever it might be for you. And if you want to be lazy for a few days, you should be able to do that without feeling like you have that guilt, because then you're starting to do it for the wrong reasons rather than for the right reasons, and that's going to have a longer term a very negative view on it.
So if you find that you're waking up this morning and you have some form of guilt or some form of negative emotion, we would just really ask, why? What is it that you're feeling so bad about? Because let's try and remove guilt. Let's try and use it as perhaps another way, perhaps just a focus point, so focus for the week. But if we can remove guilt from everyone waking up on a Monday morning, then I think then you're going to have so much more clarity going into this week.
Yeah, and it's like we always, if you've got this process where things then start to spiral because you're having guilt. What tends to happen is you turn back into that vicious cycle of you feel guilty. What makes you feel better? That food. Then this creates a vicious cycle of
people might just give up and go, oh, what's the point?
Yeah, and before you know it, this first 2 days of the week you're feeling guilty. You've eaten junk. It gets to Wednesday, and then this cycle repeats itself over and over again. And that's how people will perhaps go backwards and put the weight on. It's not that one weekend or those few days here and there that are undoing it. It's the vicious cycle of the guilt, the binge, and before we know it, you've put on a stone or two. So for us, take a step back, realise I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. If I want to eat and drink junk food and booze and stuff like that for the weekend, I'm going to do it guilt-free. I actually don't mind if my husband is having to near enough carry me home because I've got Bambi legs like Ellie. So she's done that and she feels fine, and that's absolutely cool. And I think that's really important to have that, and you can still move forward with your goals, and you will. It's not going to undo that hard work.
I think it's just like, if we can improve your relationship with how you feel and your emotions and things like that, then that's the number one key thing, because everything else will come with it. Because if you have a healthy relationship, you don't have guilt, you're going to look at food completely different. You're not going to feel as if you are desperate for that food or you need that food. You're going to have such a better relationship with food. Same with the exercise. We've not done anything since Friday. We went to boxing, but we've been active in terms of walking and things like that, dancing, blah blah blah. But so it's so important to kind of keep a healthy relationship. That's how you should go into this week. Question yourself: what is your relationship like with yourself, with food and exercise? And then you can then get the clarity of where you perhaps need a little bit more TLC.
Yes,
and Chris did say something.
Yeah, I think we had a couple of comments. We're just going back up the comments here. I don't know. Hi Eddie, how you doing? 100% agree. I had a video. I said, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I seen Chris's thing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it's saying like how.
So have we copied Chris?
No, Chris was talking about how people call it a cheat.
Oh yeah.
A cheat meal, and they'll go crazy like that, like be strict like Monday to Friday. Chris, tell me if I'm getting this all wrong. And then people kind of go overindulge with a cheat because they feel as if they're allowed it, but then they're eating the calories that they're trying to lose weight, so basically they're not going to be in a deficit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Romo's got a question as well, which we love. He's trying to cut down the junk food and eating healthier food. Now, it's down to what you determine as junk food, because junk food's like a label that people are given certain foods and certain food groups that perhaps are giving people this thought process and making it like an enemy food. Our rules of thumb is always just to try and enjoy balance in everything you're doing. If you like eating a chocolate bar, you can still work that into what you need to eat throughout the day. So the first thing what I would do is start tracking your food. Use the Flex Food app or MyFitnessPal, just something to really just get a rough idea of what you're eating and have a look at it. And if you find when you're eating your chocolate bar but your calories aren't over, you're hitting your protein goals, it's about what your goals are as well. Yeah. You can then start to say, do you know what, I can have that, and you're not going to again suffer with guilt, because we eat chocolate, we have booze on the weekend, we eat desserts most nights. We eat pick and mix, yeah. And you can do it totally wrong, but it's about being honest about what your goals are and longer term. When we're getting ready for a show, we have to reduce a lot of the things that most people call junk food, just purely because trying to fit them into our day would make it so much more difficult for us nutritionally wise.
And I think you went it really well by saying, like, if we can remove the labels for food groups in terms of junk or bad food or all this stuff, then I think then you're going to move forward, and then perhaps you're going to make better decisions. So I would number one say, like Ryan said, perhaps look at your tracking, what your goals are. If it's very much aesthetics and you want to kind of lose the body fat in terms of when you get stage ready, then it is like a different route. But if you're looking for overall weight loss, feeling good, track it, analyse it, how much are you eating, and then go by how you feel.
Yeah, so it's like we always use the 3-step formula: track, assess, adapt. But give it time, especially when it's diet. Like, you need to give things a few weeks at least to make sure that what you're doing is or isn't working. We see a lot of the time with people that we've worked with have tried something in the past and they gave up quite quickly. All diets will work if you give them time, but it's understanding why they're working or why they're a bit slower. And if you get that, you can then give it a bit of time and then make 1 or 2 changes. So for us, our first thing we say to clients is eat everything that you're normally doing, but track it. Mm-hmm. And then you can have a look at it and we can start to see, is there certain foods that
maybe my protein's a bit low. And also, you have to remember, you should be able to enjoy what you're eating. So don't kind of from two extremes, from whatever you're eating now, if it is more sort of like the junky foods, and going to the extreme where you're cutting everything out. We would never recommend cutting it all out. You've got to do what's right for you and your lifestyle and things that you enjoy, because otherwise you're just gonna go the other way, cravings.
Great title, Wembley. Yes. Yes, but it's not. It's actually like a graze.
It's like
a carpet burn on the face.
I think a jacket, but I think it has got a little bit puffy.
Yeah, spot on, Ellie. Any other comments? Has anyone got any questions? Well, yeah. So I think that's what we wanted to cover today. Really, it's just people enjoying balance, and this time of year there should be never guilt. Yeah. That is the most important message we can get to anybody today. If you've had a binge on the weekend and you're waking up feeling a bit groggy, we've always said to everybody, plenty of water, coffee. Plenty of nutrient-rich foods, and try and do something to be active.
Yeah, try and get some fresh air.
That's the minimum, isn't it? We'd say, you don't need to focus on. If you can't be bothered with the gym today because you've had a heavy weekend, don't do it. Just be active today. If it's getting out for a walk, if it's whatever it is for you. Like for us, we've walked to nursery and back. We will train today at some point, but we're not stressing about it because it's important that you enjoy that balance. Okay. I think we all deserve a treat. Exactly, Eddie.
Life's too short.
Yeah, I remember Eddie seeing us a few weeks out from the show, and he was like, "You must be getting a cheat soon." We're like, "We've not had a cheat for 8 weeks," and that was the way that it was. That was the way it was then. But for us, balance now. Everything should be important about that. Cool. Have a good day, peeps. Smash the week, and we'll be in on Wednesday. We are going to start doing these live videos at 8:30 now because we noticed that people could get there, but a lot of people are saying they're missing them and they want to watch them live. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30.
And if anyone's got any good tips on how to make mind's eye better, that would help too.
Yeah, I had a bit of a binge on the weekend. I'm not stressed. Exactly, that's it. And like you just said there, you even said that your weight maintained this week, which is buzzing. This time of year, you've had a cheat and things like that.
And Sue is ready to go because she posted in our group at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Love it. All right, have a good day, peeps. See ya.